How are you, man? It's been a while since I saw you. We haven't done much recently. Take those sandals off here. Ah, yeah, there we go.
If you had your choice to only wear one kind of footwear for the rest of your life, sandals,
yeah.
You don't appreciate a good sock.
I don't. My feet are jacked up. Due to my...
When you were a Ute, did you ever have the all-in-one pajamas with the feet in them?
I never liked those. They were hot.
I hated those.
They get you hot.
I hated those, yeah.
Plus, it's just, I don't know, the little footy, the pad on the bottom didn't do it for me.
I remember laying in bed thinking, I'm miserable.
How often did you wear this stuff?
I mean, it was like, these are memories that stuck with me. I mean, I must have not been older than 6, but I still remember being, and it never occurred to me to just take the stupid things off.
Well, the thing is, if you've got the built-in ones, you have to take your pants, the whole suit.
I know. You just sleep natural.
Yeah, but when you were a kid, you don't do that.
No.
Did you ever sleep naked when you were a kid?
I don't sleep naked now.
But I'm saying,
I fear my nudity.
As an adult, you could get it a little, but as a kid, no kid's gonna do that.
No.
Most kids have accents and stuff. I mean, there really is no way to do that.
Yeah, there's no good way to go about it.
We picked some stupid topics tonight. Real dumb stuff.
So,
you can see they're pouring in.
Tell me about Thanksgiving this year. What sort of planning has gone on so far?
Zero planning. Not even I mean, we know what we're doing. It's gonna be probably just like last year, and it worked great last year.
Refresh me what you did last year.
I think we just played a crap load of games.
You just spin the wheel every half hour, spin up a new system?
Here's the thing. Brent is the big wheel guy.
Right.
He wants to implement that thing in everything we do. And so, which I created a monster. And so, yes, I do recall that we spun it some last year. I remember when we posted that, it didn't get over. Hey, Spinny. Speaking of wheel, it's Spinny. I mean, the show didn't do as well as I thought it would. It's much like our 200 show. Really, none of the shows have ever done as well as I hope. I'm starting to see a trend here. We suck. Show canceled. Thanks, Boat. The live show does well, but I'm talking to repeats. The live show did great last year. It was one of our biggest events.
It stands to reason that if everybody's watching you live, nobody's going to go back and watch after the fact.
Yeah, I guess you're right. In retrospect, I hadn't thought of it that way.
If it were up to you, you jettison the wheel.
No, God, no. That's all we got. I jettison Brent. I'd get rid of him.
When are you going to bring back some more black and white pinball games?
Listen, that's not even close to our lowest rated show. Not even in the ball. I mean, it's bottom 10.
What's the lowest rated show?
Oh God, I don't remember. It was. The Midway shows didn't do well. I remember
just
that.
The arcade,
which is funny. That's another thing about this show doing better than because Midway has been a zero. The Midway pinball, all the pinball shows
this is a good angle. People love to hear a good post-mortem why a company failed.
Well, everything's been done. It's all been done.
People say I look like that guy. Well, they don't do that anymore because
he punched those people when they said that.
I take what I can get. When people say I look like a celebrity,
no one says I look like anybody.
You look sort of like
I want to think that I look sort of like Ming the Merciless, but I'm not pulling that off.
Who is he? Is he a wrestler?
Ming the Merciless from Flash Gordon.
I've never seen Flash Gordon.
Sydow.
Is that the one that has the Queen soundtrack?
Yeah, that's one of the ones that has it. Yeah. Flash Gordon.
Right.
Is
that worth watching? I've never seen that movie.
I think so. I mean, it's dopey. But Max Von, and it's worth watching for the opulent. You can see the money being burnt. They brought this like world-renowned like costumer in, a fashion guy. So like all the costumes cost like $50 kajillion. And it's opulent for days.
Right.
There's opulence just dripping off the screen.
And it's and it comes from an era where all that stuff was real. There was no computer graphics.
Yeah, and the director, he was like, let's go banana. Let's go out of our minds. And that's what they did. So there's big stars in there. Brian Blessed is in there. Of course, Max von Sydow's in there. Flash, no one knows who that guy is, but of course he's still around. He sort of parlayed that into a career.
Does he go to cons and stuff?
He does, absolutely. Of course, it's got Timothy Dalton's in there. We played Bond. He's played some other stuff. The Rocketeer, he was in that.
He was the Rocketeer?
No, he was in the Rocketeer.
Oh, okay.
He was not the Rocketeer. Yeah, it's the glam rock of movies. That's an excellent way to put it. And then you've got that, of course, Queen rolls in. It's like, oh, here's your soundtrack.
Is Queen? They're not actually in the movie though, right?
They should have been.
They should have been.
A perfect
great
fit for them. This is like Queen. This is Queen the movie, just ludicrous. There's a scene in it. Where Flash is in the court of Ming the Merciless. Ming the Merciless is a big bald guy with a goatee. It's Max von Sydow looking double evil. I mean, when you think like evil guy, like this guy's the King Dong of evil. But it's over the top evil.
He sounds like the villain in like a Submariner, like those old 30s comic books.
He's sort of like he's almost an Austin Powers villain, but not quite. He's close. But there's a scene where there's this. I can't remember what the item is. It's an item in this court that the good guys want back, and so you've got Dr. Markov, Flash, and Flash's girlfriend, or this reporter chick. Not really his girlfriend. And so Flash is a former football player. Okay. So it just so happens that the item they want is sort of shaped like a football. So Flash gets it, and he starts
stiff-arming
people, and they start running plays. And so the guards, it's almost like the guards are getting into they don't know what's going on. Ming's like, what's happening? And then no one knows.
That's awesome.
And Flash and the girl reporter is pretending to be a cheerleader. Go Flash, go! Go Flash, go! And
do they strike up, like the Notre Dame fight song or anything?
No, well they do have a little fight song going. But the best part's at the end, he's taking them on. He's whacking guys with it because it's made of like metal. And finally, he does something where I think he hits himself in the face before he knocks himself out. And everybody's just looking like, what did we just film? It's that. I mean, that's the kind of feeling you've got. Like, what is this? We've put the tape. How does this exist in the real world?
It strikes me that I don't know anything about Flash Gordon. Like, does he have superpowers?
No, he's an American football player.
Okay, so
that was true. Right out of the comics.
He's sort of like Han Solo.
There's a reason why you don't know anything about Flash Gordon. It's because no one's given a crap aside from that movie for like 70 years.
Well, you always hear
guys in serials,
right? You always hear about George Lucas saying that they were the inspiration for the Star Wars movies. But
have you watched any of the old serials?
No,
like they're.
I've never seen a serial.
They're double horrible. And I listen. You all love old crap, but I mean this stuff is. It's so bad. What's up, Picard? We're going to start off here in a second. We're just crap.
Does who is the guy that played Superman that died in mysterious
Christopher Reeve?
No, the guy that played Superman that died in mysterious circumstances. Or maybe non-mysterious. George Reeves?
No, I don't remember his last name.
But anyway, those aren't serials, right?
No, those are
just TV shows.
No, the Superman serials are horrible.
Okay.
And like Batman has these horrible serials. They're all just the worst. But you got to think they were for kids.
Right.
They had to keep the thing going every week in theaters. They were just dumb.
I should watch some of those.
Leonard Nimoy's in one of my favorites, Radar Men from the Moon. He's like it's one of his first gigs from back in the day. But Flash Gordon was just like right up in there with the rocket that had a firecracker out the back.
We should do a watch along on one of those.
We could. They're all public domain.
Yeah.
But Flash Gordon, the reason all these directors, like I kept reading that, like George Lucas wanted to get the rights to this, and they wanted when they made the Rocketeer, they tried to get the rights to Rocket something else. The point that they grew up watching this crap, but it was going to fail.
Right.
Remember that movie that. It had Madonna in it. It had
Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy. Like, that was a dud of a film. All right? You saw that one.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
It scared me.
But it was dumb. It was scary bad. But it's because, who gives a crap about that guy? Dick Tracy? Like, I'm old, and even I don't know anything about Dick Tracy.
I wonder if that's how kids feel about bringing stuff back that is like, because the same amount of time has passed between then and then versus then and now.
That's not true.
Because, Dick Tracy was in the 20s, right? And
I think
maybe the 30s. Okay, so that was 50 years ago. If that movie came out in the 80s, 50 years ago from now is the 70s.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So it'd be like if they brought back Kiss Goes to the
Kiss Meets the Phantom Park.
Right. If they brought that back.
I don't know. Kiss is still touring and stuff. That might get over. Plus, Kiss is still in the public minds even now.
Yeah, that's true.
But for example, when you've got a Dick Tracy, or like we were up to camp, we watched The Shadow, right? Had one of the brothers in it. I can't remember.
It was
Baldwin. Alec Baldwin played The Shadow. The Shadow literally is from the 20s.
Right.
Like Orson Welles did his voice, a bunch of other people did it, but it's way back. Even OTR, I don't listen to it. It's so old. Okay. So if I don't listen to it, and I only have a passing interest or fancy in it, how in the world did they think that was going to get over?
Right. Because the Shadow doesn't have another gimmick, really, does he?
Well, they've sort of
he's
made
mysterious.
him have a gimmick in this. You know, I mean, and all the old plots that were so goofy. I mean, because they didn't care. You know, it's like, you know, I got.
Where do you think the Phantom? Why do you think the Phantom was left behind?
The Phantom, you know, when I was working in Lexington, the Phantom had a cartoon. It was good.
Really?
Phantom, I think it was like Phantom 2030 or something like that. It was like, because the Phantom is not the same guy over the years, but it's the same. It's a ring and a power that passed down from father to son.
Like Green Lantern?
No, it's nothing like that. It's like you pass it down to your kid.
Hereditary.
So like everyone thinks there's only been one Phantom, but in reality there's been tons of them.
Okay.
Sometimes they get killed.
They look similar though.
They all look the same because they wear the same crap and
right.
they have the same powers, but they're not the same guy.
Okay. I think that strip still runs.
I mean, I don't know. But the point of this is, the cartoon was interesting. I think the same people that did the art for it did Ian Flux, if I'm not mistaken. But, like, if you try to make... I think they may have made a Phantom. I don't know. But, I mean, I can't imagine it getting over.
Right. Because, again, it's like, what's his angle, other than the fact that he's, like, a purple dude?
There's a reason why Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman have gotten over. Remember when they were much bigger, like, later on? Right. But also... They got reimagined and fine-tuned. I mean, can you imagine the Batman from, like, the 60s?
He was shooting suckers back in the 40s. He had a gun.
Yeah, but I mean, can you imagine, like, the campy Batman coming back?
I would love that. Nothing would make me happier than if that happened.
The thing is now, I mean, it would be for laughs.
Right.
But, I mean, can you imagine, like, if you watch the old Superman shows, like, if you played one of those now, like, you would be murdered.
Right.
You'd be killed, you know, so. Boy, that's a controversial. Tom, are you excited about this? You're a Monkey Man. What's new, Monkey Man?
You know, I feel bad for Ron Gilbert because I guess he's had lots of bad experiences online with people that don't like the art style of his game.
Yeah.
But I also don't like the art style of the game.
I don't either.
So,
but.
I'm not going to attack the guy for it. I just won't play the game.
That's amazing to me. It's like, here's a guy bringing you something back that you want. Well, I'm going to bury him.
Right.
You know, now, I'm in a similar situation with B5. They're bringing back Babylon 5.
Oh, yeah.
They're bringing back a double Babylon 5, like a whole new reimagining.
So it's going to be a whole new series?
And he's bringing back some kind of gimmick with the old people that are left from the old show. I don't know what it is.
It's got two separate series.
Two separate things. Do we need a Babylon 5 remake? No.
Really?
We don't. There's no reason to ever remake it. However, he says he's a complete do-over. All right. Hey, thank you, Explorer. Holy smoke, 14 months.
Thanks, Explorer.
But long story short, I'm trepidatious. I'm worried. Okay. But I'll watch it. Yeah, you do, dude. Yeah, I know, y'all.
I've heard you say that like there are several seasons of Babylon 5 that are not very good. So why would they not try and bring it back and make the whole show better?
Here's the story of this show. Okay, Babylon 5, the first season was a season you had to have to build the rest of the show. Okay. And so it's not the best because you're starting cold, which a lot of shows have this happen.
Right.
The second, third, and fourth season are gold. Okay, they wrapped up the series in the fourth season. Okay, then they got renewed. They were like, So, because it was originally going to be a 5-season story, they smushed it down to 4. So I'm not gonna hammer Straczynski for that last season. Now I went back and watched it in the past 5 years, and it wasn't as hideous as I remembered. I mean, when it came out originally, I was not happy. There were some good parts, there were some bad parts, but I didn't like the series as a whole like the season. However, I'm not gonna hold him responsible. It's not that bad if I go back and watch it. Maybe because other stuff, I don't know why. Maybe I'm softened, I don't know what it is. So, I mean, yeah, you could remake it. Listen, he's a genius writer. He's a genius planner. If he gets to do the whole series the way he wants, it will probably be awesome.
I'll watch it. Where is it going to be on?
I think it's on something like I don't know if it's on like
the Discovery Plus or something.
No, it's one of these pay channels like Star Trek's on.
Yeah, like Paramount Plus or
one of those. I think Warner Brothers owns Babylon 5, so I don't know where they're going to put it.
HBO Max, I think.
That might be.
Yeah, because that's where all the Warner Bros. Stuff is.
But I don't know, man. Why can't we do another thing?
Because it's the same. It's like we were talking about.
I know. Have you watched that? have you got around to watching any of that? You have watched. I saw the Lord of the Rings show.
Yeah.
Now you've watched. There's been 3 episodes. I've watched 2.
I've seen all 3.
Okay, I watched the first 2, and after the second episode, I didn't run screaming and like, "Hey, Super Tech Boy, what's going on?" It's going to be November 19th. We'll be there, brother. Yes, I watched 2, but for me, meh was way better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be bleh.
Well, here's the thing. I came off the 3rd episode really not liking, because it seems
I
like
haven't seen the 3rd one.
It seems like there's not enough happening. Well, it seems like there's a lot of stuff happening, but it's like there's too many storylines. What I like is when you like Lord of the Rings, right? You start out with a group of people and you follow that group of people.
The Fellowship.
Yeah. And then at some point the Fellowship gets scattered, and then it's okay to have these. But what they've done is they've started with everybody being apart, and nobody is particularly likable. Everybody is just sort of a generic fantasy trope. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, because just like you said with B5, you're laying the groundwork.
That's the way I looked at it. I thought, okay, if these first couple episodes don't turn me off. And by the way, there has been a ton of stupidity surrounding this show. All right, with the black this and the Chinese that and whatever. And listen, you know me, I don't like for classics to be fiddled with. Okay, with all that said, that is dumb. That has no bearing on any of this.
Yeah.
Like, and my buddy at work and me have gone around about this. And I think A Little Mermaid, that's a little bit different issue. I can see why people would get a little bit upset with that because they grew up with it. But this Tolkien stuff, I mean, this is, you've read Silmarillion.
I've read everything.
It gets because he didn't never finish that, right? Wasn't that?
Well, the Silmarillion is actually just a collection of things that was put together by his son.
Hey, Frodo, what's going on, dude? We're going to play some Coco here in a few minutes. We're just talking. So, this show, from what I read, you could correct me, I've read this multiple places. They did not have access to do anything from the trilogy or The Hobbit. They had to. It's a lot like the Star Treks, the new Star Treks. They had to limit themselves in certain ways.
I don't know exactly what they're limited by. At the beginning of the show, it says based on the Lord of the Rings and the appendices from the Lord of the Rings.
And so, but I know there is a limitation there.
Okay.
Okay. And so I'm not going to hold, because the Lord of the Rings is done, and this isn't redoing it.
Right.
Okay. So you can call it Lord of the Rings, but really it's just it's the Tolkien universe.
Yeah, it's the Tolkien universe.
All right. But listen, if you want to make money, I don't know why people find it so difficult. It's having more different colored people, different looking people. It's going to possibly appeal to people that never give a crap about this source material.
Right.
So in effect, and I know Tolkien, I've heard this a million times, he may not have had black elves or Latino hobbits or whatever. Okay, that's fine. Okay, but we do all like the trilogy. If you would like to introduce some other people to it, and by the way, they might make a few extra bucks, it ain't gonna hurt nothing to get some of this thing going. Some things they do I don't like. When they take like if they made Batman a black woman, that would be, I'd have a problem with that, because that's an established character that we all love. For me to, however, I could get over almost anything if they do a good job and the show's good and the writing's good and the acting's good. I get past a lot. I'm a Doctor Who fan. They could put women, old men, black, white, green. It all comes down to the writing, the direction, and the acting skill and prowess, right? And so this show's the same way. And the people they had in these parts, I saw a bunch of it, it had zero effect. They all did a fine job. They looked cool. They looked like they were supposed to. Move on. If you're going to bitch about stuff, that's not what you should bitch about. You bitch about the fact that maybe the plots are boring or dull or the dialogue's no good. But that should be 5th or 6th or 10th on your list to complain about, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just don't, unless you're just racist. I don't understand the fact that you have, characters that exist in a fantasy universe that's completely made up that look not like you. Why that pisses you off?
I don't necessarily.
Because here's the thing: I've read everything Tolkien's done.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah.
I literally listen to it every night before I go to bed. Okay. This does not bother me, and I can't think of why it would bother me.
Yeah, and you said you weren't super enjoying it. Did that anything to do with the race of anybody?
No. In fact, like I loved, like for example, the guy that plays like the old Hobbit, the black guy. He's awesome. He's one of my favorite guys.
I like the dwarf's wife.
Right.
She's great. And by the way, the dwarf is the king, or he's cool. Get over that. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know, let's. I mean, I'm not sitting there saying change everything for the sake of changing it. I don't like when they gender swap or race swap characters that I love. But these are characters that no one hardly knows anything about, or maybe they've never appeared anywhere.
Well, that's the thing. You said that you'd have a problem if they did that to Batman, but for some people, these characters they feel the same way about.
Are they the ones that are the loudest voices, or the loudest voices a bunch of dipsticks?
Well, you know the answer to that question as well as I do.
There you go.
All right.